What's up, everybody? It's Monday night, and that means Stereo Joe Show. We are beyond excited. We are having a world premiere today of Mr. Stephen J., the bass player for the Weird Al Yankovic band for 40 years. He is coming on our show and is going to be playing the song for the first time, so we are beyond honored and excited to have him on. But we also have a great lineup tonight. We have a special musical guest who's been on the show a bunch before. You know him, Dela Cruz. He's brought a bunch of his homies here. They're going to be playing some awesome tracks all throughout the night. So definitely going to want to stick around and hear that. I'm really excited to have him. But we also have a bunch of other great guests. We got Eric, Christian, and June coming here to do a performance as well tonight and a little interview. So we're excited to see them. We also got backup pianist Mike O'Mara, who's going to be playing some funny songs in honor of Weird Al Yankovic. So we're very excited about that. We also have Lyndsey Morgan and Oscar Batista. They are an awesome, cute married couple. They're going to be playing and singing some songs for us. You're going to love them as well. And then last but not least, certainly, we have the man of the hour, Mr. Stephen J., coming up a little bit later tonight. Like I said, we're going to be premiering his new song, and we're also going to be talking to him about everything he's got going on. Super excited. But first, we have some awesome musical guests. Let's get to Dela Cruz. Please welcome him to the show. What's up, boy?
How's it going? Echo cancellation is off, so might have sound weird there. Hi, I'm Dela Cruz. These are my songs. Couple days have passed since I met you in your basement with our mutual friends. Showed us your new pups, it was $2,000. You love them a lot, we made eyes a lot. Back in 10th grade I wrote an essay saying what's the point of young love? We could be so fun, but how will this last? We know it won't, and there's already plenty of it. Yet I check my phone, and you want to meet up. Said was a lot of fun, why won't I come? So I pull up to your house in the woods. Said to go through the back door, I'll meet you there. Walk me through your house with no one there. Went down the stairs in that warm basement, and we're on the couch next to Audrey Hepburn and the Kurt Cobain poster behind me. You showed me your art, your Strat guitar and a kiss. Nothing up our sleeves, nothing more to feel. Filling a gap with some fun for 1 month. Don't mistake ideas with feelings or gestures with meaning. An interlude to fucking move on. 2 years passed since we met in your basement. Found other friends unassuming. How many other lives do we meet a couple times and forget it happened? Interactions that haunt, apparition there, now it's gone. To fucking move on. When was the last time I'd be with you? Oh, you're my addiction. Every second I'm away feels like the clock keeps ticking in my ear, and like a ticket, love sucks the blood from my pulse and heart. Getting tired and diseased with your virus in my blood. That makes me bloodthirsty for you. In a stream of thought, I synergize a subtle lullaby. Your song sings to my sleepless head. Each and every night I find the knife that you battle me with, etching into my chest a sweet sharp caress, slowly embedding in my soul. No use in saying nothing. Key in my pocket, heart in a suitcase. 'Cause I feel if you found out everything there is to know, my cover will be blown. You'll be the heat-seeking missile that targets the fire in my heart. So if I just say hidden, I should be okay, but good riddance. That's why I stay undercover, and that's why I'm coming to you. Within a looming fog, internalize the fuming dialogue. Your song whispers into my ear, seducing to a grave of a love I hold on to so dear. Buried memories from this past year. In this atmosphere I'm polluting, will only feel cold. And still I say nothing. Message in bottle sinks to the bottom. 'Cause I feel if you found out everything there is to know, my cover will be blown. You'll be the heat-seeking missile that targets the fire in my heart. So if I just stay hidden, I should be okay, but good riddance. That's why I stay undercover and not be undercovers with you. Thank you.
All right, that was Chris Dela Cruz. I love that song. It just kept getting trippier as time went on. Very cool. All right, it's time to bring in Nick, but stick around because Chris is going to be back at 8:20, and he's going to be performing, and we're going to be talking with him, so we can't wait to catch up with him. But in the meantime, let's bring on Nick the Viking. What up, Nick?
I'm excited for tonight because we've got a bunch of performances lined up for all of you.
What's up, Tony? What's up, Caroline? Nick, you are so right. We got a killer night of things. Real quick, we're going to get Remy on here 1 second because I'm so obsessed and to talk about Stephen J right now. But real quick, I got to hear about that beard.
People all stop me on the street all the time and they ask me, how does the beard get so nice? I tell them it does not need to be a struggle if you partner with a beard struggle like we have. They have products for beards of all sizes, whether you need oils, brushes, combs, whatever you need, they've got you covered. If you're thinking, I don't have $1 million to spend on these kinds of things, don't worry because we've got you covered. If you use this code StereoJO when you're checking out, not only will they give you 15% off your order, if you're one of our friends who watch in the US, they'll ship it to you anywhere for free. That's right.
And that's not all, folks. They will fly you out to Hawaii if you're the 9 millionth customer. All right, I'm totally lying. And I'm totally off-centered. Normally Nick yells at me to get centered up. But okay, we got Remy, that Wonder Angel, in the background. Let's get Remy the Angel on.
The Wonder Angel.
What's up, Wonder Angel?
What's going on?
Yo, how about that last performance? That was pretty sick. I love
it. Was awesome. I love the music. The music was really awesome.
Yeah, you were saying the little Arctic Monkey vibes. We're gonna definitely have to ask them that. I definitely can hear that influence though.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love seeing Chris. We've seen him perform a couple different times now. He always does a great job. We were last with him doing the takeover for the radio. That was awesome. And anyway, so Rem, tell us, how about you do this every week? Get us amazing guests.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I apologize.
How do you get us such amazing guests every week?
Oh, that's sweet. I'm lucky to know some amazing people. That's it. That's really the answer to that question.
Tell
I'm
me your
blessed.
secrets.
Guys, in case you didn't know, Remy is the ultimate arm twister, I guess. She gets like the coolest things. I don't know. She must like know karate or something. She's like back there like, you're going on the show. Because how cool is this? We're getting... She did it to me once. I was like a pretzel when I was done. I was like, let me out. All right, I don't act on TV, as you can tell. Should I do my wrestling act that I was doing earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, kids, you better get it together because we got a killer night for you tonight. All right, brother? We got Mr. Stephen J. from Weird Al Yankovic coming on the show. You're gonna love it. Remy, tell them all about it. I'm getting sweaty over here.
That's a great segue. Thank you, James. About Stephen J. He's a great bass player. He's been playing with Weird Al since 1981, I believe. But he has also a ton of great solo projects, and the one that he's working on, the song we're going to debut tonight. And he has his sons are also like really talented musicians. Like they're very musical, like wonderful, beautiful family. And I'm blessed to know him. I met him at Wooten Woods. Everything here comes down to Wooten Woods.
It seems like everyone who comes out of Wooten Woods is a great person, and we're lucky to not only have Steven come on, but we're lucky to also have you be part of the show as well, Remy. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
The love is real.
Guys, in case you didn't know, Nick writes Hallmark cards. He's really good.
He should start.
He's a
Maybe 30
ghostwriter.
cents a card.
Yeah. Joe, no. All right, time out. Let's talk about these fucking cards. They are way too expensive. Screw you, Hallmark. Screw you, Target. Screw you, Walmart. $6 for a card? You should be ashamed of yourself.
And they all suck.
But Shoebox makes 99-cent cards still.
Yeah, well, I make 89-cent cards. You can hit up Jimmy James at Stereo Joe. Custom card. You're going to love it. All right. Chris, what's up, buddy? Chris, we are so excited. Nick, you messaged Chris, right? Boom. Got it. I know you did. You're the man. All right, listen. Chris, stick around. You're coming back in just a few minutes. But first, we got to go to our first guest. Tell me about him, Nikolai.
Our first guest is Bergie. He's got a trio, which I think it has a little bit of folk style to it. Very cool. Actually, someone I came across through the Social Distance Fest as well. He does have some music coming up with one of our friends, Jess Cantley, who was also a previous guest on here. So hopefully he tells us a little bit about that.
Excellent. Yeah, and I got an upright bass, Remy. You're going to love it.
Yes.
How cool is that? That is pretty cool. I was like impressed right away. So June's playing the upright bass. Christian's going to be doing a little backing vocal. I think June is as well. And then Eric or Bergie is going to be playing the guitar and singing. You're going to love it. All right, so let's get them on.
Can't wait.
Oh, Can't Feel is my song. I'm just kidding. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, if you're just tuning in now, this is the Stereo Joe Show. We do a little show every Monday night where we bring on a bunch of awesome guests to help them get their music out there. So if you could, please share the video right now and invite your friends so we can get our guests some more people to watch. All right, let's go to Bergie right now, coming all the way from New York. Let's welcome to the show, Bergie and Co.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello. How's it going, Jimmy?
Hey, it's so nice to see you guys again.
Great to see you as well.
I'm so excited. Oh, wait, we got another guitar.
Yeah.
We're throwing you for a loop.
So we had a little discussion after sound check. We're gonna do a little more music and a little less talking on the back end, I think. So we added a second song. Hope that's all right.
Oh, absolutely. That's awesome. I was loving the song before, so I'm really excited to hear some more. So
Absolutely, we're excited to play it for you.
We're so pumped. So tell us all about your music and what you guys have been up to for the last little bit.
Yes. All right. So, we are collectively Bergie. I am Bergie. It's a whole. We are Bergie. I am Bergie. It doesn't really matter. This is June on the upright bass. Round of applause for June. This is Christian on the guitar and shaker, backing vocals, sitting on the cajon, not playing the cajon, but it's a great little seat. And we just put out a record actually with Jess Cantley, who you were just talking about. We got a split EP. It's called Take Care. It's 3 songs a piece. We're going to play 2 of them for you today, and we're real psyched about it. Other music, last year I just kind of locked myself in my closet and turned it into a little studio, and I recorded a solo album called Don't Panic. It's 10 tracks long, and you can find that on Spotify and all that jazz, BERGIE exclamation point. And the current stuff is on Bandcamp and will soon be on streaming services near you.
Excellent.
That's everywhere.
So where do you guys draw your inspiration for writing songs from?
So I don't think we really take much of his style musically, but my personal inspiration and hero is a man by the name of George Watsky. He just really gets it for me. He always puts out music that is exactly what I need to hear when I don't know that I need to hear it, and sometimes when I don't want to hear it, but it's what I really need to hear. As a band, we draw a lot from AJJ, Will Wood, or Will Wood and the Tapeworms. They've changed their names, and who else we inspired by, y'all?
Neutral Milk Hotel.
Oh my God! Shut up. Yeah, we're kind of doing a psych folk thing right now, which I'm really digging. We got some folk punk influence, and yeah. So another little announcement: we are going on tour with Jess Cantley starting in August. We're going to be hitting a bunch of dates on the East Coast and kind of the South. We're picking up Jess in West Virginia and heading down along the coast through North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, then down into Florida, culminating at the Socially Distant Fest, live festival on August 14th in Atlanta. And we're real psyched about it. Yeah, y'all
that is awesome.
All right, hot mic.
Yo, I am so excited, and what a brilliant idea to co-release those songs together. You're giving me a lot of ideas. I'm like, during your performance, I'm going to be messaging Nick like, dude, we got to get on these guys' level. You guys are doing awesome
absolutely.
Things.
It's a real cool project. I'm really proud of it, and we both wanted new music to tour on, because Don't Panic is great, but it's very pandemic heavy. And we just didn't really want to sing about that much anymore.
You're like, we're done.
So, yeah,
well,
we
really
wanted new
excited.
stuff to tour on, and we wanted a good message to carry that forward for us. So we settled on Take Care, and it's just take care of each other, take care of yourself, take care of the world, because that's the only way we're going to move forward together. So that's the message we're going to go around and we're going to try to spread.
Well, I love it, and I can tell just from the two titles, Don't Panic. I can just see you're preaching positive stuff. So I'm really excited. Let's get into it. Let's hear a little bit of it now, and we'll come back in 2 songs.
Absolutely. Cool. So this first song is one that's gone through many different iterations, but I think we've finally settled on a real good one. There's a question I get asked a lot. I'm sure many people get asked it a lot, but I have a long and confusing answer to it. The question is, where are you from? So I got tired of answering that question and just decided to put it in a song. So this is called Where You From. They say that home is where the heart is. Home is where you live. Maybe home is where you settle down and have a couple kids. Maybe home is where you're born and raised. Maybe home is where you're staying. But where I come from, well, we got a little saying. Oh, for third grade, just another school day, chilling with my friends at the park out on Willards. Way back home to a shot. My parents at the kitchen table said, we gotta talk. Yo, we had the conversation. First one I remember, Dad was being restationed 4 months from September now. We had just learned in school about the Declaration and the Constitution, so I staged a revolution. I said, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yo, we fought for these ideals, shouldn't settle for less. And I hid under my bed just to make that apparent, 'cause I was gonna pursue those ideals in America. When then my parentals treat me like cattle. But spoiler alert, yo, I lost that battle, left the dog behind. She died before we got home, while the motherfucking Air Force sent us to Rome. Cause home is where the Air Force sends you. Pack your stuff up, root your rear end. You don't like it, learn to pretend to. Cause home is where the Air Force sends you. Oh, 7th, 6th grade, back from Rome. Dad's in Iraq, left the fam alone. Mom broke her foot, little jam in the cocktail, but I learned to cook and we got a new dog. Hey, 1 year later, Dad's back from deployment, back on the move to my thorough enjoyment. North Carolina, not too far away. We'll keep in touch with our friends up in Chesapeake Bay. Box up the memories, pack up the house, and we load up the truck and we ship down south. And Mom enrolled us in school for the fall, but shortly thereafter my dad got a call and he didn't even know. No cries for help. My dad's friend and mentor had just shot himself, and my dad's his replacement. No need to ask us. A week later we're in Anchorage, Alaska. Cause home is where the Air Force sends you. Pack your stuff up, root your rear end. You don't like it, learn to pretend to. Cause home is where the Air Force sends. Where you from? It's a hell of a question, so put away the compass, pick a random direction, throw a paper plane from outer space and see where it lands. Busy, 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 flying by the seat of my pants. Buy the ticket, take the ride, and tackle life as it comes. My main condition for the mission is you gotta have fun, 'cause I'm an Air Force brat, I'm a son of a gun. So if you're feeling lucky, punk, then come on, ask me where I'm from. Where you from? I'm from the city, I'm from the birds, I'm from the rhythm between the words. I'm from the mountains, I'm from the lakes, I'm from the purr that the engine makes. Train blowing through the station, got nobody to blame. Undermining expectations is the name of the game. My ground planes went and blew up. We ponged in pink, floor was lava when I grew up, so I up and grew wings. 'Cause home is where the Air Force sends you. Pack your stuff up, root your rear end. You don't like it, learn to pretend to. 'Cause home is where the Air Force sends. Well, home is where the Air Force sends you. Don't like it, learn to pretend. It's the gift that keeps giving and will not relent you. 'Cause home is where the Air Force sends you. 'Cause home is where the Air Force sends you. 'Cause home is where the Air Force sends you. Thank you. That was Where You're From. Oh, man, I love that song.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yo.
Glad you enjoyed it. We got one more, if that's all right.
Absolutely. And knowing your history, that song makes a lot of sense. I love it. I can't wait to hear the next one. Very catchy stuff you got going on. Love your lyrics. I'll be back.
All right. Thank you. You all set back there, bud? Wonderful. This next one is called Goodbye Blue Monday. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to get used to the fact that there are people who exist outside the walls of my apartment. And I pass them in the street, get overwhelmed, and I retreat to roll myself into a cocoon in the carpet. I hibernate for days and watch a billion animes and tell myself that one day I'll be just like Luffy. A whole big crew of friends who I'll protect and I'll defend, and who will bonk me on the head when I'm too goofy. 'Cause it's a big, 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 big city. And it's a big, 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 big world. It's gonna take some getting used to, and I know we'll be alright if we just hold each other tight and say goodbye. Blue Monday. Oh, goodbye. Blue Monday. I got a slew of expectations in a student subway station as I'm waiting for the next train to ride. And I try to play it deft, but there's only so long that you can hold your breath if you're expecting to survive. I've been so terrified of everyone around me, I forgot that I get energized by having them around me. But they make me feel alive, and oh, I finally see the light, and so I know we'll be alright. Let's just go slow and take our time, 'cause it's a big, 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 big city. And it's a big, 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 big world. We're getting busy, busy, busy. Can't you feel the energy swirl? Oh, people on the sidewalks, in the parks, and on the train, in the restaurants and coffee shops. It's funny how that's strange. Gonna take some getting used to. I know we'll be alright if we just hold each other tight and say goodbye. Blue Monday. Oh, goodbye. Blue Monday. I want a whole big crew of friends who I'll protect and I'll defend.
Woo! Very nice, boys. Love that. Guys, thank you so much. I'm so sorry to say, but we are at the end of our time. But real quick, where should everybody go to find you?
So everyone, follow us on Instagram at Bergie exclamation point. That's BERGIE exclamation point, all spelled out for updates. And we are on linktree.com/Bergie exclamation point for all of our music, our merch. We have merch. It looks like this. It's dope. It's tie-dye, hand-dyed, hand-printed. And it's dope. It's all there. Linktree, Instagram. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Let's get out to a show soon and let's do something together. Can't wait to see you guys. Thanks again so much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Say you guys, they're awesome. If you're just tuning in, that was Bergie. They're awesome. They're out of New York City. They got some new music coming out. We got their links in the comments there. Go check them out if you can. All right, we're up to our next guest. He's a returning favorite. He's been on the show a bunch. He's been on the Stereo Joe Bruising Cruz. You've already heard him open up the show. Let's welcome to the show Chris Dela Cruz and the rest of his crew.
Hey,
what's up, Chris?
Hey, all here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you been?
Good. Just wanted to say real quick, Don't Panic was awesome. They're having that show in, I think it's like August 28th at the Sherman. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. That's funny. Those guys have a release named Don't Panic, and then there's the band Don't Panic, who is doing a new release show. Like you said, the 28th. I was trying to get on that show, but maybe next time. No, Ted, we love you. I was so lucky. We played the festival with them. I think it was May 28th or something, and they were awesome, man. Really great, and they actually dedicated their one song to us, which was really super cool. But I love those guys. They're awesome. But you know what? Let me bring in Nick real quick.
Yeah, Nick the Viking.
Nick the Viking. Nick.
Hey,
I know.
dude, I'm excited to have you guys joining us for tonight. It's always a pleasure every time we've played with you. I think one of the first shows that I did with Headspell actually was with Chris Dela Cruz.
Yeah.
And that was actually a crazy night. There were some photographers there that night making post-show videos that I actually have to say was very official.
That was like the first time we got like an actual video of us, like a promo video almost. I was like, wow, that's insane. I didn't expect it. It was a great surprise.
And
I love it.
Yeah, looking back at your guys' Instagram, or actually your Facebook, it showed that you were starting back in 2019. How did it differ from when you first released the music to how you are with the full band now?
I mean, back I was about to say back then, as if it was like years and years ago. Years ago. Yeah, it feels so long. It was Brian, who's our bassist now, but he couldn't make it tonight, and also Andrew, who was on drums. And it was just, I mean, it just feels so different now. Like, I write differently, just like, I mean, I'll show you in the song that I'll play soon, but I'm just writing more personal lyrics. So just musically, I'm in a different headspace. I mean, the time does that for us, and you guys know that too. But just like with time moving on, I feel different as an artist. I don't know how to explain it well.
Well, I heard that personal touch in one of your first songs, you know, about the dating scene and all that. So that was pretty cool. So I see where you're going with it, and I really like it. So listen, we're going to be doing 2 songs by you real quick right now, right? I think, or is it 1 or 2? I forget what we said.
Right now, I think we could do 2.
It's literally up to you. I forgot what
We'll
we
do
said.
as many as you like.
I'm like, so we got about 10 minutes, but I want to bring back Remy on the other side because she's got a question. She said you reminded her of someone, and I want to see if they're one of your influences. But let's get to the sexy music. I'm going to be doing freaky things backstage you didn't want to know. So anyway, we'll see you guys. Oh, and real quick, can you introduce everybody?
Yeah, of course. I mean, here.
Hi, I've actually been on the show before with Bruising Cruz. I thought today that I was coming on Bruising Cruz, so I brought this is all I had in my hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
I misinformed him.
I know, I didn't understand. I was like, Stereo Joe, that's the beer guys.
Yo, I love it though. Thank you. We'll get you on that real soon too.
But yeah, this is Nick. He's not a Viking, but he's
Unfortunately, I'm not a Viking.
yeah.
I don't have that Viking.
We love
blood.
Nick. We love Nick. We love.
Hi, I'm Stoyer. I'm coming for that Viking look, dude. I'm trying here.
And then we also love.
I'm Jet. I'm the drummer.
Yes. We've been together for like 3 months. It's been a happy marriage. So we can't wait to start.
I'm so stoked. Well, yeah, let's get to the songs now real quick, and then we'll bring Remy back on the other side. I can't wait to hear you guys.
That sounds
And we'll bring Nick back too, because we love Vikings. Guys, if you're just tuning in now, this is the Stereo Joe Show. This is Chris Dela Cruz. Gonna play us 2 songs real quick, and I'm gonna do some freaky stuff. I'll be back.
All right, the song's called Morning. Just gonna switch off the echo cancellation. Being a good guest. Yeah, so once again, I'm Chris Dela Cruz. This song is called Morning. In a dream last night, my eyes were drowned in a bright light, but you and all my friends were there. I could hear it and imagine each of you laughing in your own ways, in an outfit of your choice. 'Cause I believe the last I saw you was in our high school dress code. Started to hear you talk about me when your voice went further away, and I tried to reach out to you, but your location, I couldn't place it. When was the last time I'd be with you? When was the last time? Think back to times of dirt and grass stains, when we felt like kids again. 'Cause when I saw you at the party, there were just beer stains you could wash down the drain. If I dared to mention, it was nice to see you. Been a while since I've seen your face. This I at least wanted to say to you, but you were a few drinks away. When was the last time I'd be with you? Only in a dream have I last seen you. When was the last time I'd be with you? Only in a dream I go back to. The swing set that we played with is now rusted at the hinges. The arcade we went to as kids is now filled with new ones. That new guitar I first showed to you is in the hands of someone else. We used to always jam together. Since then there's been a silence forever. I mean, this is us as we grow up. We leave some good people behind us, but I know that you care when I see you in my dreams and nowhere else. When was the last time I'd be with you? Only in a dream have I last seen you. When was the last time I'd be with you? Only in a dream. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, echo cancellation. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, cancel. All right. Keep going. Oh, Ghost. Let's go. All right. Going for another one. The song's called Ghost. Pictures of my memories take it out of me like falling leaves off of a dying tree resting below me. They show me times when I was so happy, like confetti on the street. Now look at me, am I the tree? Looked at highly, slowly dying. Yesterday, how you float away, you're a ghost to me. Happiness here for all to see, leaving quietly. The sunlight rays reach the mouth of me, then fall underneath. This darkness leaves me astray in a haunted dream. Nothing more to see. I'll tread carefully. I'll tread carefully. Moving on is the pill I digest, with side effects of doing something I might regret. Opportunity may keep knocking away, but that door will always
Priscilla Cruz. All the echo.
Echo.
All right, woo, love it. All right, I got to bring Remy on real quick. She has some bands that she thinks you sound a little bit like. I think she's right, but let me know what you guys think. Remy.
I feel bad because every band hates being told what they sound like. So I'm going to preface that with that.
Any band we sound.
But the one thing I want to compliment you all on is that every song sounded like an influence from something else. So that was awesome.
Thanks.
Your first song, to me, sounded like Arctic Monkeys influence. Am I wrong?
Well, definitely, we love the Arctic Monkeys. Like, we saw them live. We met Alex Turner, who's like the lead singer and the writer. He's awesome. I mean, like, I remember first time I heard the song Cornerstone from the album Humbug, which is like our favorite album from them. Like, that was the first time I realized, wow, lyrics are really cool. Like, you can evoke a lot of emotion in lyrics, and
Yeah, absolutely.
pairing it with like great instrumentals, like it can make for really powerful moments, and that's what I look out for in songs. So definitely, I would say like Arctic Monkeys is like a great reference point. I love them.
Yeah, when she said it, I was like, I totally hear it, absolutely.
Amazing.
And then you had another one, Rem, and I agree on this next one too.
Oh
no! Shit. Okay.
I'm sorry. No, I mean, you guys are young, but I also heard a lot of brand new influences in your second song. Do you guys like Brand New, or do you not even know who that band is?
Brand New.
I am familiar with Brand New. What was the second song that we played?
Well, it was Morning.
Morning.
Yeah, the first song that we played earlier, that was like a combination of two songs. We just played into the next one.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. I apologize.
But do you mean the one we just played?
Did you play two in a row, or am I like losing my mind
They
completely?
did two before and two now.
Morning.
Yeah. Yes.
Brand New.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't really speak on them.
I need to check
We
them
don't
out.
listen to Brand New. I mean,
I
nothing
but-
against them, hey.
No, but now we got like a good. I love.
I'm not. You don't have to be a Brand New fan. It's okay.
You know what's important about sound, like being told you sound like another band, because like you really don't. But what happens is like when promoters or venues are like, "Who do you sound like?" They're trying to think of like, what other band should I put these people with? So it's always good to have like one or two to be like, oh, we've been told we sound like Brand New or the Arctic Monkeys. And then that way the promoter's like, oh, okay, I'm going to put them with these guys on this night. And it kind of helps them out. So sometimes I know what you're saying. Like someone told me I sounded like someone once right after they told me that person sounded like a dead raccoon singer. And then you sound just like them. I was like,
what I will say is that I know that Brand New and Arctic Monkeys are very different. So there's range there at least.
Oh, well, that was kind of a compliment because every song you had almost was a semi-different genre, which is very impressive. And Nick, you're the bass player, right?
Yeah.
Your harmonics on that one was fantastic.
Thank you.
So thank
very
you.
cool.
Honestly, my favorite part of like all these songs that I made was showing them to Nick and him writing like bass lines and like, like me throwing off ideas and him telling me it's stupid. No, honestly, no, but it helps. And
A bass player will always be honest with you.
I love it.
I love it. Well, guys, I am so sorry because we are running pretty late. So I'm going to run on you, but we are getting you back again for another performance. And we're going to even bring you on with Steve and ask a quick question. So I'm really excited, and we'll be back with you guys in a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you guys. All right. Now, listen, this is what I'm going to do. With Nick and Remy, I'm going to let you start the interview with Mike. I feel bad. I'm not getting you guys on enough. I'm just talking so much here. So let's get ready to rumble. Please welcome to the show the pianist of the – I hate saying the word pianist. The piano player of the century.
It's a pianist.
Well, listen, I got a big penis. So I hope you guys do. All right, this is why I'm getting off screen. Please welcome to the show, Mike. Hey.
That was the weirdest intro I've ever had for anything.
I'm not surprised.
But I'm not certain.
Is it my internet?
I don't know.
Or
Is
did
it?
he freeze?
Hey, Mike, can you still hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh,
Okay.
Mike, you did freeze.
Am I here or not?
We can hear you, but your video is a little bit slower.
Yeah, you know what? I would log out real quick and try to log back in. And if you're on data, I would switch to Wi-Fi, or if you're on Wi-Fi, I'd switch to data real quick. But we'll see you in 1 second.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, so real quick, that is Mike O'Mara. He is a pianist and a singer. He's gonna play some funny songs, not funny, but they're funny. They're like not a comedy song, but they're pretty entertaining. Really excited. We're doing it in light of Stephen J. So we're pretty pumped. So Mike will be back here in 1 second. We're gonna bring him on. What are you two guys gonna ask him about? How he pronounces the word pianist?
That's Nick's question.
Yeah. Well, no, there's a couple of different things. I'm interested to know about some of his different composers that he likes to play or likes to study, because he really does cover a lot of different composers with his music. He performs every day.
Cool.
I love this picture of him, but it's frozen.
I do too.
Mike, I feel really bad.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, hold on. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Let's try to switch him out real quick and then see how it works. Nick, you're big. Look at that background, Nick. Nick, that looks like a porn set, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Sponsored by Walmart.
Wow, Walmart.
Set by Walmart?
Yeah, Walmart sponsors porn now.
All right, I think we're good.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Am I back now?
Yeah, baby. All right, I'm going to be back. Let's talk for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll hit those.
Hey, Mike, it's a pleasure to see you again. How are you today?
Hey, can you hear me now this time?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you sound great. And I'm coming through clear.
Goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm so happy to be back though. Yeah, I'm doing I'm just living like everyone coming out of this crazy last year.
What have you been up to during the last year?
Oh boy. What I was up to initially was losing all my gigs and jobs and everything, and then having an existential crisis for many months, and having to move, and then settling down somewhere new, and now trying to build life back up as things start to open up and things like that. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
You mentioned a few gigs that had gotten canceled. Aside from being a pianist and a singer, what other things do you do? You're a teacher as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I've been extremely lucky. I've almost never had like a quote unquote real job. So like, I went to school for music, and I liked that so much. I stayed and got a master's in music. And then since then I've been working in music. I've also added to my repertoire over the years. So I also do a lot of writing. So like I write plays, and I've written radio dramas, and I've done other kinds of stuff. So basically anything that has to be creative I've done, but I've been super, super fortunate that I've either been able to, like eke out my living, playing, singing, teaching, writing, arranging, anything that has to do with that.
What would be, if you had to pick one or two, what's your favorite creative task that you enjoy? Because you just talked about being creative.
Oh my goodness.
Or you can pick 12. It doesn't matter.
Teaching. I think there's nothing more amazing than like kind of hearing and seeing people where they're at, and then showing them where they can go. I think there's nothing better than that. And I've been really, really lucky that I have always stressed variety in my studio in what I do. So I've been really lucky to work with people of all ages and all ability levels, and also in all different genres, right? So I've taught people classical music, and then music theater music, and then I've worked with rock bands, and I've worked with choirs, and I've worked with like all kinds of different people. So I love all of it. So yeah, but kind of showing people where they can go is kind of the coolest thing to me.
That's really cool. In addition to teaching people classical music, you do perform a wide variety of different classical pieces each week. Is there a certain composer that you find yourself drawn to, or is it just kind of like you're open to a lot of it?
I try to be open to a lot of it, because I think for me, at least if I look back to when I was a kid, what really got me into music seriously was when I stopped seeing it as something that I was like forced to do by mom and dad, you know, like dragging me to piano lessons or like whatever. And I started seeing it as something that I could own. And that really happened once I started to like branch out and learn about music that maybe my parents didn't like or even didn't approve of, you know, like whatever. But it was something that it was just for me. And once it became something that I learned that I could express myself in my own way, then from then.
I'm sorry. I know you hear that in the background.
Hello? Hello. Well, that's a great segue. Mike, we got to get to your performances. So we're going to let Remy take that call. But let's hear these songs real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna do two, and I decided today because I know that you guys were talking to a Weird Al band member. That was actually one of my first concerts I ever went to was Weird Al. My parents wouldn't let me go to a lot of like rock and roll, but I did go see Weird Al, and he's always had an awesome band. So I decided to do one funny song first, kind of an homage to Weird Al and his band, and then one serious one. So the first one is a zombie love song. It's called Undead Love. I want to make sure the echo cancellation is off here. There we go. Okay. Okay. So this tune is called Undead Love. Hey girl, I know that it's been quite a while. It seems a lifetime since I've last seen you smile. And I know it's probably strange to see me standing at your door. This let's get back together thing never worked for us before. And plus I'm dragging my own guts behind me on your floor. But I can't help that. I can't help that. When I said my love was never ending, I meant it. When I said our love would never die, I'm proof. A little thing like post-apocalyptic tragedy won't be enough to keep my undead love from you. So let's talk. I know it seems so sudden now, but don't be hasty. We can make this work somehow. We can be the couple that defines modernity. You a strong, independent woman, and me, your boy zombie. You don't have to cook for me. I'll eat the elderly, cause they run slower. Even slower than me. When I said my love was never ending, I meant it. When I said our love would never die, I'm proof. Little thing like post-apocalyptic tragedy won't be enough to keep my undead love from you. You don't have to say yes right away. I can wait outside while you think things through. But I asked you to try to love this dead guy like this slow rotting dead guy loves you. You don't know how hard this has been. Walking miles with no feet can have its pain, but it was worth it to see you. Now I know that I need you to love you or feed on those sweet, sweet brains. And I said my love was never ending, I meant it. When I said our love would never die, I proved. Little thing like post-apocalyptic tragedy won't be enough to keep my undead love from you. So open up that door and let me through, so I can take a love bite out of you. Girl, I could just eat you up. All right, so that was a funny one. I hope people are still out there listening somewhere. I'm gonna keep going unless you tell me to stop. So I'm gonna do a more serious one. So during the past year, as most musicians did, most composers did, I found myself writing some things about time passing and dealing with change, especially with the pandemic and everything that we all had to deal with. And I moved to a small town in the middle of this, and I started thinking about time and small towns and things like that. And this is a song called Memento Mori, kind of just about how time changes and things pass people by. So here we go. It's Sunday Mass at 10:30. A tiny crowd stood round the glen and spoke some words and sang amen. Laid their neighbor down. The ground was hard, the wind blew cold. The birds sung as the stories told, reminded them of just how old things were getting in their town. It was not so long ago. There were flowers on these trees, but the seasons swiftly go. Soon they'll bring us to our knees, and the snow keeps coming down. They came to town after the war. They knew what they'd been fighting for, and just like all who came before, the world was theirs to win. But fashion fades and pages turn, and older hearts take time to learn the reasons why young passions burn, and how to let them in. On and on the years go by. Soon the children aren't so young. From the nest you build they fly, and the story comes undone, and the snow keeps coming down. All we have we take for granted, but it's not for lack of care. We can see the seeds we planted, till the flowers standing there. As the path we tread grows longer, like the river sea can see, where we need to go pull stronger than the place we used to be. It was not so long ago. There were flowers on these trees, but the seasons swiftly go. Soon they'll bring us to our knees, and the snow keeps coming down. Over tree and stone and town, and it will till there's no one around. There we go.
Woo! Love it, brother. Nick
you.
said while you were playing, he said Disney Pixar better be listening. And I fully agree with him. I could totally hear that in one of their songs. You got an awesome thing about your songwriting there. I love it, man. Unfortunately, we're getting close to the end, but we're not there just yet. But what do you have next on your plate, and where can everybody find you?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so I just started streaming on Reddit, and today I hit an all-time high for me. It was amazing. 106,000 people clicked on my stream this afternoon, which for me, that's amazing. So yeah, you can find me. You can follow me on Reddit. I stream there. My username there is Death by Muzak. So Death by and then Muzak. Don't ask. It's an old gamer tag from a long time ago I kept for Reddit. So anyways, that's me on Reddit. You can also find me on YouTube. I have a artist page called Mike's Words and Tunes, or you can look up my name, Mike O'Mara, O''Mara. I stream literally every single day, if not every other day. I do classical, jazz, originals, rock, pop, whatever people want to hear. If people make suggestions, I will literally do a theme concert of stuff that they want to hear. So you want to hear me do prog rock, you want to hear me do classical, you want to hear me do jazz or music theater, just let me know. I pride myself in variety, so I'd love to sing and play and write for you sometime. So thank you.
Yeah, I could totally hear. You got a wide range of influence. Just from your first to second song, I could feel the difference You know, like you said, the first one was a little bit more comedy, funny, and the second one, like I said, I was seeing it in the movie. I was seeing people dancing and flowers growing and stuff. But anyway, I love it, man. Everyone should go check you out, and I just wish you the best. And we'll get you on again real soon.
Love to be here. So much.
Maybe like an extended performance next time because we got to hear those songs.
I'd love to.
All right, brother. We'll take it easy, and we'll be back. Guys, that was Mike O'Mara. He's a great guy. Go follow him right now. You're not going to be let down. I promise. Guys, if you're just tuning in, this is the Stereo Joe Show. We got 2 more guests coming up. We got Lyndsey Morgan and her husband, Oscar Batista. They're going to be playing some songs. And, of course, we got Stephen J coming up. So, but first, we got our buddy Chris Dela Cruz again. Let's get him on the show. They're going to be doing another performance for us.
Stereo Joe.
Mike is in. All right, this song's called Last Dance. I'm Chris Dela Cruz.
Chris, real quick. I don't hear your voice too well.
Oh, no.
Is the echo cancellation thing on?
I got you. Let me just go back to what we're... Sweet. Check.
Just give me a little vocal mic check.
Check. 1, 2. Is that better?
I don't think so. I don't know if we got if there's a loose wire or something.
Check.
Is this not on? Hold on, Chris. Can you touch that? Chris?
Is that
All right, let's try that.
Yeah? Is that good?
No, this amp is off.
Give me your guitar with it.
It's the yeah, we got a loose cable, man. Give us like 10 seconds here. Chris, you gotta fix that. You don't want to here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
I know, man. Thank you.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, we got
echo cancellation. So, while I got the air right here, I just want to say that the government was supposed to tell us what was up with the aliens, and they never did it. It has been weeks. When are the aliens coming out? When's the new DLC coming out?
When's the new
with the
alien
aliens?
DLC?
That cable situation right now. Oh my god.
Mic check. Is that better? Let's go. All right. Here we go. The song is called Last Dance. Thank you for bearing with the technical difficulties.
Nick, do not move too much. I know.
How do I know if this is the last chance? I've had a good time with you, but I'm nervous that it might before my eyes. So I look back because I'm scared of what's ahead. Even the survey at work says I'm not a futurist, but I take input and they made it kinda obvious. Will I amount to anything? Sounds like an injury and I keep hurting myself. Same and new struggles, tears over again. I'll stay on the floor because who knows if this is it. Maybe this is the one. These times are the old home, a part of my soul will never move out of. Maybe I'll make the most of it. The song just started and we're about to begin. Why does every good time feel like a last goodbye? Feels so bad when everything seems just fine. But I will smile and laugh with you and act like we are. See if it can take us far. At times people think I have my shit together. That means school and work first, and that means that I'm mature. But I wanna go around the world with some friends, playing songs no one's heard. Unattainable actions, unequivocal. In the meantime I'll keep dancing, 'cause this could be it. Maybe this is the one. Times are the old home, a part of my soul will never move out of. Maybe I'll make the most of it. The song don't go slower and it's too late to quit. I'm so tired of having no second chances, like when I had met eyes with someone that I never got involved with, or on a family vacation I ended up missing a birthday, giving a presentation, stuttering on my first name. Maybe I'm overthinking, but time will kill me slowly, so I just wanna feel happy about tonight. Maybe this is the one. Times are the old home, a part of my soul will never move out of. Maybe I'm getting sick of it. Maybe it's time to quit. Thank you. I'm Cruz. That was the song Last Dance. Album's coming out October 8th.
Oh, I had the mute on. Hey, guys. Give it up for Dela Cruz. He's going to be back again to do one more performance for us. We love those guys. Funny as hell. Great music. Thanks so much for coming on. We're definitely going to have you back, though, again. So please make sure to stick around. But now I got to go to our next guest. I'm sorry, I'm a little flustered. I'm running a minute or two late, but they've been gracious enough to hang backstage. So I'm going to get Remy on with me. Remy! All right.
James.
And now we got your people on the back. Let's please welcome to the show Lindsey and Oscar. Hey!
Aw, this makes me smile a lot.
Uh-oh, there we go. Oh, I hear a little echo. Do we have echo cancellation on still, possibly?
Yeah, we do. We turned it off.
At the bottom there. I love these two. So I am so excited. How have you two been?
Sorry.
No problem.
I thought that was the quickest way to translate the message. Like, stop calling. You might want to mute so that she doesn't.
Well, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about your music.
Well, I have a first album that I made. It's called Soul Child, and it's like kind of like R&B, soul, rock, pop fusion. And then Oscar and I actually are in a duo together, and we are creating new music.
Yes, we have new songs coming, and yeah, so we started.
I love you both. I'm going to interrupt just because I know you very well. It's low. Is there any?
Yeah, the voice is pretty low.
Tiny bit.
The voices are low. Is this any better?
Much
It's better, but we still could use it a little louder.
A little louder. Okay, let's see if we can adjust the volume here. I don't know why.
Hey, we got a friend who is saying hi in the comments.
How about this?
It's Bobby.
Is that any better? Let's see if this is. How does that sound? Now I'm talking.
That's better.
Much better.
Okay, good. Well, yes, as we were saying, there's new music coming, and we've been working this whole pandemic on production and mixing and learning how to record and stream like we're doing right now. Thank you so much again for having us on the show. It's fantastic to be here. The last band was awesome. I really enjoyed their guitars. It's great to see those kinds of off-centered guitar shapes and designs being used out there by the young rockers of the world. It's a fantastic thing. But as Lyndsey was saying, we've been working her record for a few years, and she's really proud of it. It's called Soul Child, and you can find it on Spotify, and you can find it on Amazon, and you can find it on iTunes as well. Apple Music. And so we are hoping to release some new music later this year. And, it's kind of in the similar vibe that she was talking about, which is sort of funk and soul and pop. Probably a lot more rock-driven, because I am a guitar player, and I love rock and roll, so it's always going to have a little more of an edge. Kind of like some of the artists that we love today are like Dua Lipa and Miley Cyrus, and they have that kind of a vibe, I think, to the new stuff that we're working on. And of course, because Lyndsey's such an incredible singer, she pulls from the
I wanted to tell you about how much I love. Okay, Celine Dion will always be my queen. Celine Dion will always be my queen. But, I was inspired to write music from Sheryl Crow. Actually, Tuesday Night Music Club, actually changed my life. And Natalie Merchant's Tiger Lily and Bob Marley's Legends album. Those three absolutely shaped me in, like, the direction in which being a singer and a songwriter really took flight from those people.
The music that we're creating and that she has is just a mix of all those different influences and styles.
Yes.
It was beautiful music. I just had to add that in there.
Real fusion.
It's all beautiful.
Thank you, Randy.
Very cool. I'm so excited. And how did your guys' musical relationship come about?
Well, I hired Oscar to play guitar for me 7 years ago.
We had a mutual friend, Lyndsey wrote
co-producer of Soul Child, actually. His name is Matt Noble.
Her producer and I were friends from years ago, and I guess what happened was he saw me performing, and he's like, "Oh, Oscar might be the right guitarist for the project that I'm working on," which was Lyndsey's band Soul Child. At the time, Lyndsey was using the name L. Morgan, and sort of short for Lyndsey L, right? And so that's how we came to meet, and that's how we started working together. And we did a few shows, and I didn't actually get to record on the record, unfortunately, because
he was on tour.
Yeah, I got a gig to go on tour, so. So I was like, but we stayed in touch and we stayed.
Wait, Oscar, one of the things we were going to ask you, or I was going to ask you, is to talk about your Broadway experience. So I think that's kind of where you were going.
Oh yeah, the opportunity I got was to go on tour for the Broadway show Kinky Boots, and so that was that's a Cyndi Lauper written musical, and so I got to work with Cyndi Lauper and Harvey Fierstein, who also produced the show. And, that was an incredible experience. And so, and I had performed on Broadway before with the Green Day show, American Idiot. So now this was a tour. So this was not in New York, but it was a tour. But I actually ended up playing the Broadway show, Kinky Boots, as well. It was a fantastic experience. And I'm still sort of involved in that world of Broadway and theater, musical theater, which is fantastic. And but yeah, at the time I got that gig, I couldn't record on Lyndsey's record because I just had to, the itinerary that they had me on was such that I just wasn't available to record. But she did. Her record came out just fantastic with a really great guitarist named Greg Mayo, who actually plays for Bon Jovi, and. So she has they got some good people on that record, regardless, and it's a fantastic record. We regularly still Lyndsey loves to perform those songs.
Very cool.
Yes, I do.
So, well, listen, let's get to your performance, and we'll be back.
Thank you.
Just bear with us for a second, everyone.
Just one moment, please.
No problem.
All right. Solid. Okay. Good. I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. It's just a cold case of black and white. I'm on the track, you're on my path, the right place here. Now is the time. I am sitting on this platform, giving everything inside. Take a trip with me, we're gonna leave this world behind. Yeah. Come on, come down on the count of one. Get on board or get out of my way. Are you ready to ride? Like a little while on the L train. Said there's two kind of people gonna say it nicely. Some sit around while others get shit done. You gotta take one leap of faith into the fire. Now is the time. Come on. I work hard for everything. I'm not looking for a handout. So if you're having a good time, let me hear you scream and shout. Come on, let me see you, Facebook. I'm the goddess of war. Get on board or get out of my way. Are you ready to ride? Might get a little wild on the F train. Yeah. When the stars align, can you see the signs? Can you see the signs? When the whistle blows and it's time to go, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Hear it one time, two times, three times. Come on, Jimmy. Whoa, 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 whoa. I work hard for everything. I'm not looking for a handout. We're having a good time. Let me hear you scream and shout. Out of my way. Are you ready to ride? Might get a little wild. Oh, yeah. Get out of my way. Are you ready to ride? Might get a little wild on the L train.
Oh my God, that was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Loving that. I'm bringing on Nick and Remy right now. Wow.
Whoa. That was incredible.
Girl, dude, I miss you, and B, that was beautiful.
You know what? Is echo cancellation on?
Mine?
Yes, we did. Did you put it on?
Oh, no.
Hold on, let me double check.
Double check.
We turned it off. Do you want the blue check on or off?
Yeah, put it on if you could.
Put it on. All right, it's on.
Perfect.
There
All
we go.
right.
Nice.
Oh, great. All right, Nick and
Fine.
Rem, I'm going to take this over. We got 4 minutes. I'll be back.
Wow, that was very impressive. I want to compliment both the vocals and the tone of the guitar and the music overall. All of it was just killer and complemented each other so very well.
Thank you.
And also,
Yes,
that's
sir.
It's always,
oh, hey, Bobby.
it's always funny how we're never quite sure what you may hear. You know, we're here streaming this audio, and it's like it sounds good over here. I hope that you can hear what we hear. So
It was phenomenal.
oh, thank you so much, Remy. So nice to see you.
I know we miss you.
I miss you too. You live like a town over from me, and we just never.
I know. We were like so super safe during the pandemic, though. We were just like
that was smart.
We like learned how to do all of this and produce. Like I'm a producer now. Can you believe it? Can
That's
you believe?
smart.
I believe it, but we have to have a chat after
Yes,
this.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And Oscar's amazing too. Listen, we are a team effort here.
Yes, we definitely are, and we been streaming this whole time, doing or learning how to stream, and we've done a lot of performances on. Lindsey's an artist on this app called Likey. It's
I just got verified.
it's a
Called what?
Likey. It's Likee, Likey.
Oh,
So
I thought I misheard you.
You'll probably be hearing about it pretty soon, but it's the competitor to TikTok, and it's a live streaming app, and a lot of what we do is perform on there, and
Great videos where like I'm demonstrating like maybe like just vocal prowess and production, and also just like Oscar said, doing a lot of performing, and so growing an audience. I have almost 6,000 fans. I've been on for just a few months, so
hell yeah, man.
and it's international too, which is even more incredible. So it's just like I have fans literally all over the world, and they're streaming the stuff on Spotify and everything. And Oscar and I actually we solidified a duo band name, and we will be marketing ourselves. You are actually the first to hear it. We are going under the name Queen Lion. So
nice.
Prepared for Queen Lion as the duo. It's happening. Yes, sister knows. So yeah,
Awesome.
Queen Lion is going to be making their debut with a lot of new songs. So which we're really excited. So yeah.
In addition to the new songs, could there potentially be another music video to follow up the premiere video?
Hell yes. I mean, I also do videography. That's something that he's in actually a police tribute band, like Sting's band, The Police, and I do all of their video stuff now. So like, oh, we just lost our camera. Hold on.
We can hear you though.
We hear you. We don't see your faces, but we hear you.
All right, wait, just give us a sec. You got it? Okay. There I got it. Yeah, so I do videography as well. I do it professionally, so it's like something that
yes, the answer is yes. Videos to come.
Videos to come.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, listen, I'm so sorry. I told you that it goes super quick. We're at that time. Where can everybody go and find you?
So you can find me now. Currently, it's just me, but eventually, like I said, it will be Queen Lion. So awesome, right?
This is great. I'm not laughing at you. It was just such a great name. I'm like, why the hell did I think of that?
Yes. So you can find me Instagram, Lyndsey Morgan Music, Oscar GTR for Instagram for both of us individually. And then you can find us on, me on Likey as Lyndsey Morgan. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Spotify, literally anywhere where music is streamed, bought, sold. If you look up just Lyndsey Morgan Soul Child, you will find it. So I promise you that anywhere where music is available worldwide, Lyndsey Morgan Soul Child. Just make sure you spell with an E, not an A, child, okay?
You can go to LyndseyMorganMusic.com, and you can go to OscarBautistaGuitar.com, and you can find us there.
Well, thank you two so much for coming on the show. It was such an honor, and Remy and I are definitely coming out to a show, and we're going to be your loudest fans in the audience.
Yes!
I can't wait. It would be the first time.
I know, Remy, we always be that. Like, I show up to Remy shows, I'm always real loud, and Remy shows up to my show, she's always real loud. So, like, it's just, it's in the family. We know what to do. We know what to do.
That's the way it should be. Well, thanks so much,
I
guys.
miss you guys tremendously.
We love you too. Thank you so much for having us be here.
Thank you for being here.
All right. We'll see you later, guys. Thanks again. All right. If you're just tuning in, that was Remy's good friends, Lyndsey Morgan and Oscar Batista. They are awesome. Go follow them. Check them out. Rem, we have a very exciting guest coming up right now. We have the man of the hour. We've been talking about him all night, Mr. Stephen J. He's a bass player. He's a songwriter. He's an all-around great guy. So we're so extremely honored to have him on. So let's welcome him to the show, Mr. Stephen J.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Remy.
Hey.
Thank you so much for having me.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thanks, mate. Happy to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to have you. We are so excited. You've been playing out for 40 years. I'm even longer, about 40 years with the same act. I don't know how you could do it. I mean, that's amazing to stay with the same group of musicians for 40 years. So that's awesome. Remy was mentioning before, you mentioned your son, very talented artist himself, takes after his dad, I guess. But right now with you, we have a lot of new exciting news going on. We got some new music in the works. And tell us a little bit what's going on with you.
Well, I've had a whole lot of chance to write during the pandemic, being quarantined up here in my studio. So it's been it's really wonderful just being able to give everything a lot of time, all the time that it takes for compositions to emerge. A lot of times you're under a deadline, and deadlines are great things, but I just figured I'd take advantage of this time and let everything just keep cooking, and it really pays off. You know how it is. You'll listen to something a couple of weeks later and have some great idea that really helps the tune, and you wouldn't have ever gotten there without the couple of weeks. So I'm really excited with the way my whole new album's been evolving.
Yeah, so you mentioned, like you said, it was a great time to write new material. We were not on the road as much as normal and everything, and so I'm sure you had a lot of inspiration. Was there something in particular that really just you had something to say about?
Well, everything inspires me, so it's kind of hard to pin down, but definitely what we were all going through and what we all faced during the pandemic forced a sort of a new perspective on what's worthwhile and what really matters, and it certainly had a filtering effect on me as a composer, especially in the initial stages where everything was pretty scary. And at first it felt like I was fiddling while Rome burned, which is kind of natural. But then I actually found a whole new perspective on what I wanted to do musically and how I wanted to reach people that came from the big scare that we were all facing. So it had a big influence on what I was doing. Basically what I'm doing is experimenting. Every song I write is a new experiment. Like, what if I tried this as opposed to trying to do something I've done before? So I'm kind of addicted to that.
And that's one of the great things about music is all the experimentation that you could do with it. And if you don't like something, you can just re-record it and go over. So it really is kind of like an endless, array of sounds that you could do. Was there like an instrument in particular that you used that you weren't expecting to do, but you just got the inspiration from a certain song? Like on one of our songs, we really recently put a glockenspiel. And going into the recording, I never thought I'm going to use it, but it just came about. Anything like that with you?
Oh yeah, lots of things. I started. My son Miles played Masenko on a tune that I'm working on, and it was really unexpected. He just happened to drop by with that little one-string instrument, and actually Miles played quite a few unusual instruments on this album, and so did Ian, my other son, the percussionist. But one of the main things about this album I'm experimenting with is the idea of the rhythm that's inside of harmony. Remy, you knew all about this. We've talked about it a lot, but just the inspiration is that every harmonic interval also has its own characteristic rhythm. For example, a fifth, a C and a G, which is 3/2, is a simple triplet. But yet that rhythm is really probably one of the most defining elements of that harmonic interval. If the rhythm was different, it wouldn't be that. For example, a fourth, which is a 4/3, is a So my sons and I have been exploring this all the way up into really complex chords, and then having pitches, the pitches of the actual notes that are happening on those rhythms rather than just indefinite pitches, and then melodies emerge. So for example, if you grab any chord, if you slow it down 8 octaves or so and apply pitches to the pulses, you'll hear little melodies and things inside that. So this album is full of that stuff. We call it rhythmonics. And one cool way we do it is by having 2 drummers playing at 2 different tempos. Like there's a song I did with Howard Levy playing keyboards, and Ian playing drums, and myself on bass and piccolo bass, where it's called the perfect fifth. And so one drummer is playing at, let's see, what was it? I guess it's 150 BPM, and the other drummer was playing at 100. And they're both playing different beats. Like one section, drummer A may be playing a shuffle at 100, and drummer B may be playing a heavy rock thing at 150. And these things emerge, and these composite rhythms of the harmonic relationship between the rhythms emerge. So you'll, instead of having a snare beat that's on 2 and 4 or whatever, you'll have like ba ba ga 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 ga, and then that the rhythm repeats. Anyway, it supplies us with all sorts of interesting ways to experiment. So that's kind of a central theme of the album, is these harmonic rhythms.
That is really cool and very mind-blowing to think about. I mean, like, what a cool idea.
Yeah, and it's always been there. It's and there's so many different ways to explore it. You can just look up the ratios of the intervals and then tune 2 drum machines to 2 different tempos at that ratio and see what you get, Or you can tap it out, Anyway, it's really cool to know that when you're grabbing a C and a G, that inside of that, very, very fast, that's what's happening. It's a rhythm. And harmony is just as related to rhythm as it could possibly be. They're integral. Whereas on first glance, you'd think they're separate, but they're not. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I'll tell you what, I can tell you got a good music brain in there. And that brings me to your shirt real quick, the Bootonium shirt you got on. Let's just give that a shout out. Then I'm going to shut up and let Remy and Nick start talking some more. But yeah, tell us real quick about Bootonium.
Me or me?
Or Steven, up to you.
Why don't you tell us about it, Remy?
Okay. Well, I did not design the shirt. However, it's like a Wooten Woods like thing. So this wonderful person named Dave Dickens, he designed all of these like Wootonium shirts, and they always have the 432 hertz thing on them. And that's basically kind of how it just all, goes
So
down.
basically, it's a Wooten Woods creation. And that's how you guys met up, and tell me a little bit about that if you don't mind. When the two of you first met, and what was that like?
I remember I was setting up on the stage. We arrived there at Wooten Woods, and Remy just walked by and said, "Hey, I'm Remy," and she was fixing the tables and things. She was volunteering to make things happen. That's when we first met. I remember that moment. And then we had a great time after that.
So if you hear a train in the background, I live right by a train thing. But yeah, that's really nice. That's what you remember. I remember the same thing, because I was like, "Can I get you something? Like, do you guys want water? Like, how can I help you?"
Yeah, you were right there. You were the first one to greet us.
Remy's the best. Yeah, when you see her as the greeter, you know you're going to have a fun time. So that's great. All right, let me bring in Nick real quick, because I feel bad. I know he wants to talk to you too.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, Nick, nice to meet you.
I was enjoying a lot of the musical lessons that you were giving us about the beats and the keys matching up to it. Actually led me to one of my questions. You had this segment where you had a bunch of African recordings that you did, and I did with, I think it was NPR.
Well, it was actually None Such. They've been played on NPR, and I've done some. I did a show on All Things Considered about the African recordings one time, but they were released on the None Such album, None Such label.
Could you tell us a little bit about how the whole experience started and what it was like for you to do it?
I'd love to. It's so wonderful to remember that stuff. Okay, so it was 1973. My wife Barbara and I had just gotten married, and we graduated from college, and we decided we wanted to go to Africa, and I wanted to study drumming. So we started off by getting a cheap ticket to Iceland, and worked in a fish factory for a while, and to England. We worked there. I did a lot of busking in the subways to earn money, and eventually got to Germany and had enough money to get across the Gibraltar Straits to Morocco. And that was quite an adventure in itself, but we made it down to Senegal, and then traveled from Dakar, Senegal, across to what used to be Upper Volta, now Burkina Faso, and Mali, and Ghana, and Niger, and Togo, and Dahomey. And I was there to study drumming, of course, but a lot of things took me by surprise. You know, I was, I guess, 22 years old. And once we got outside of the cities into the villages where people were living pretty much the way they had lived for thousands of years, surprisingly so, there was nothing that you'd associate with civilization. It was all subsistence living, you know. And instruments were made by hand. And my first quest was to obtain an instrument in a city called Niamey in Niger. And I got someone to teach me a little bit of the local language, and also they spoke a lot of French, so I spoke a little bit of that. And so when I asked people where I could buy an instrument, no one could give me an answer. It was like something that they didn't do. You know, instruments weren't bought and sold. They were inherited or given away as gifts or given to other people. And I later learned that that was part of their whole belief system, was that musical instruments are living beings, or at least the people who I came in contact with in Niamey, Niger, and that we have the same relationship to them as musicians, that thing that brings us to life has to us. And so they don't buy and sell those beings, and it's kind of obscene for me to have even suggested it. And then I noticed how the care that people took with their instruments, whether they were drums or string instruments, they would wrap them up at night in cloth and put them to bed, basically, and approach them just like you would approach a friend. You know, it wasn't something that they had command over. It was kind of a mutual agreement, like, you know, you go next door and you ask the kid if he wants to play catch, and maybe he says yes, maybe he says no, but it's a cooperation. Anyway, then when I actually was accepted by a master drummer named Issa Humani, who was a master drummer of the Jerma people in Niger. And I had heard him play with this group, and I approached him to ask him basically if he would accept me as a student. I guess it was a shoemaker from Ghana who spoke better German. He translated it. So Issa said, okay, well, let's see what you can do. So he gave me a drum, a talking drum, actually.
This is so cool.
This is the very drum right here. Okay, and he played a rhythm that he wanted me to imitate, and the rhythm was boom, 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 ba-doo-doo-doo, something like that. And so he played it for me, I played it back, and he was like, okay. So he played me another one, I played it back, because I knew how to imitate rhythms, and I knew my way around this drum well enough to do it. And he sat back like, he was astonished, like, okay, so what does this mean here? Here's this white kid who can do this. Okay. Oh, and by the way, Issa Hamani, the way a master drummer becomes a master drummer, aside from playing for a long time, is by memorizing hundreds and hundreds of rhythmic patterns. And he was pretty impressed with my rhythmic memory, so he decided that I was a profitable commodity. And so he did the most amazing thing. He took me around Niger, and a crowd would gather because it was the great Issa Hamani and this weird white kid, and so there'd be people all around us. And he would put words in my mouth on the drum, like he had taught me phrases, so that if he went boom, bada bada boom, 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 bada boom, he knew my response was going to be dum dum ba dum 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 ba dum 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 boom. And at that point, I didn't know what I was saying. But what I was doing was giving the punchlines to jokes. many of which were about me. Because when I would do these things, people would fall on the ground laughing. You know, he was probably saying, "Who is this skinny, weird white kid who understands our drum language?" And then I would answer back unknowingly, "I understand every word you say, mofo." You know, people would just be falling on the ground and throwing money at him. So I was the part of his act. Okay. Then eventually I learned the language and I learned what I was saying on the drum, because the way that, forgive me if you know this already, but the way that this drum works, it imitates speech. So you can have inflections. And in the German language, as in many African languages, the inflections for any given word are constant, unlike in English, where I can say, "That's a nice tree," or I could say, "That's a nice tree." In their languages, the inflections are much more constant. So if tree is say a two-syllable word with an up pitch, it's always going to be that same word. So you're actually able to speak very clearly just by imitating the speech patterns, and people know what you're saying, exactly what you're saying. They even tell the news with the drums. They'll walk through the villages in the morning, or at least they used to back in 1973, just rattling off what's been happening in the village, and people can understand every word of it. And wherever there's a duplication of inflection patterns for a given word, like say the word for water and the word for goat have the same pitch pattern, then they just elaborate. So if there's trying to talk about water, they'll say the water that flows, and then they'll go on to the next thing. So anyway, eventually I learned the language and learned to play the drum. But first I had to obtain a drum, and since I couldn't buy one, I found a broken shell drum. This was this drum, actually. It didn't have any of this stuff on it. It was just the broken shell, but it was a very old shell made out of red coconut wood. It had some cracks up here, down there, and I managed to fix them and get the rim back together so it had a nice bead. And then I went to where they make these things. They taught me how to make them, and so I put it all together, and that was the drum that I used while I was there with Isa Hamani. And he also taught me that music is a living being. I know you've all heard that before. A being that spans the universe and all time, much, much, much bigger than us, that uses us kind of like the same way we use the bacteria in our stomach or the sand underneath our feet. And it calls us when it needs us. And that was the way musicians acted and responded in Africa, in traditional hunter-gatherer West Africa, that is. There wasn't so much a feeling of talent or anything, because everybody seemed to be able to play absolutely amazingly, because that was their only form of entertainment, basically. So you'd see little kids playing little... That one won't come off the wall. But anyway, you see little kids playing little one-stringed instruments that they made that would just be the most incredible music you had ever heard. And it happened because that was their toy. There was nothing else around but the flat ground and the blue sky and the sun and their toy. And so they'd wake up in the morning and play with their toy, play with it all day, go to bed at night, and developed this incredible relationship with their instruments. So let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, so music is alive. It's a being. And the music gods, or rather, I'm sorry, not the music gods, because music is a being, but in some of their religions, at least the ones I was exposed to, they believed that the gods were music-loving gods who scorned, or let's say really detested, performances that lacked energetic animation, full devotion. And so it wasn't just a matter of if you want to play kind of laid back and empty and not really be into it, that's your choice. That was basically a very unhealthy thing to do in their eyes. And that was one of the first things they taught me, was basically you always hit the drum as hard as you can every time. There isn't anything soft about that particular drum. There's not a lot of dynamics, you have 5 or 6 guys playing this thing at once with all these composite overlaid rhythms, and everybody's hitting it hard. So my buddies in the group, which they accepted me into, if ever I wasn't doing that, they would look at me and like remind me, and they would also remind me if ever I wasn't staring at the center of my head, because concentration was everything to them, you know. And this intensity that you hear from traditional West African music comes from that underlying belief that, you know, we can get sick if we don't play right. You know, it was actually a people were for your health. You know, they're like, man, if you're gonna play like that, don't play. You know, you're gonna come down with skin cancer or something because the gods won't be happy with you. So anyway, all this stuff is beautiful thought experiments in philosophy, and I love metaphors, and I took it deeply to heart, and it had a huge influence on everything I've done since then. And I guess I've kind of gone on a while, but there you go.
No, that was awesome, and I think a lot of the audience really gained a lot from that. So thank you.
Sure.
I thought it was a great way to even kind of relive that with you.
Honestly, it's one of the coolest stories we've had on here on this show. Like that alone, if you just ended it there, you had a great music career. But you went on to do a million other things. And so you were doing that for a long time. And then how did you link up with Weird Al?
Oh, okay. Well, Barbara and I came back from Africa because we got, well, things were pretty bad there in the 70s. There was a lot of starvation and disease, and we had our share of it, so we had to recuperate. So we came back to the U.S. A band I had previously been in had a tour. And, well, anyway, it went the way it went, but I got back into working. I had been playing in bands since I was a little kid, 14, so I got back into just rocking and rolling and R&B and jazz. And at one point I was playing in a big disco band in Tampa, like a 9-piece band. And dear sweet Frank Zappa came in, God rest his soul. And he and Steve Vai and some of his other guys were there, and they watched a couple of sets and called me over, and he actually said, "This is the best sounding band I've ever heard." And I remember Steve Vai's jaw just dropped, and later on he told me that Frank never said things like
Sorry,
that.
I didn't laugh at that, but the visual was.
Yeah. So I just said, well, man, if ever you're looking for a bass player, give me a call. So 2 weeks later, he called me, and I found a replacement and moved out to LA to join his band. And then, much to my surprise, he put the Black Page in front of me.
I'm sorry, the what?
The Black Page. You know about that, right?
No, can you elaborate for a second? Because no.
Oh yeah. You can Google it. The famous Black Page. It's what's called Augen music, meaning music for the eyes. So you take a piece of manuscript paper and you write so much on it that there's hardly any white showing through. Okay, so the first note might be 13 ledger lines above the staff in a tenor clef, you know, with a fifth quintuplet sign over it that jumps all over the place. So everything is absolutely impossible to play, but it's beautiful to look at. Okay, so it's a legend. You can look up the Black Page, Frank Zappa. I mean, when I was a kid, I read about how he liked to put that in front of players and see what they would do. You know, anyway, that was what he had in store for me. So he put it in front of me, and I said, "Wow, this is quite an honor for you to do this to me." But anyway, I didn't get the gig. So I was out on the street, and I was like, "What the heck did I just do? I came all the way out here for that." You know, I mean, I remember telling him I'd be happy to go home and practice this, but anyway. I think it was Steve Vai who actually learned how to play it, and that was part of how he endeared himself to Frank. But anyway, that's what got me out to LA, and then it was a matter, I had a wife and a baby back home, so I just hustled for every gig I could get. Lots of gigs. I played with the Ghost Riders. They were produced by Mickey Hart, kind of a Grateful Dead spin-off. And Joe Higgs, the great Joe Higgs. Do you know about Joe?
A little bit.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to be honest, no, I don't. I'm
Okay, well,
going to be really honest with you. No, I have no idea who that is. I apologize.
Okay, he's credited with being, they call him the father of reggae, because a long time ago, I guess it was Chris Blackwell, came to him and said, "Hey, I've got this really cute kid, and he can play. I want you to form a band with him and do something." And so they formed a band, and that was the Wailers, and the kid was Bob Marley. And Joe was was a calypso artist from Trinidad, but he was into this new reggae thing, and so Joe was Bob's mentor, and they formed the band. And Joe went on to write a lot of great songs like Step and Razor and There's a Reward. You love Joe Higgs' music if you look it up. He's the original dude. Anyway, he accepted me into his band for I guess about 6 years until he passed away. And that was just an extension of the whole African experience. He was like another Isa Hamani for me. So that was wonderful. Oh, and then, yeah, getting to the Weird Al, at some point I saw an ad in Music Connection that this guy Weird Al wanted to form a band. And at that point, with Blue Miles and Barbara needing sustenance, I was doing hundreds of auditions a week. Just every gig I could get, I would get, and I would play it. And so I went to that one and got that gig, and we recorded the demos for the first few albums in my living room in my Atari, and then I guess the third album hit it big. It was kind of a surprise to all of us, and it's still a surprise that it's been going on this long, and everything's been working out.
That's really cool. I mean, it's amazing. I can't believe it. I'm just in awe. All right, I have our musical guest for tonight. They were dying to ask you a question. This is guy Chris. I'm going to bring him on super quick.
Okay. Hey.
Chris.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, you might have to take the echo cancellation off.
It's echoing.
Let me see. All right, let's see if he fixed it real quick. How are we looking? Better.
I just wanted to say real quick, man,
I'm enamored with your story. That was really cool.
very few people have lived your life, and I mean, of course, only you have lived your own life. But just wanted to say, growing up, maybe 4th or 5th grade, we listened to a bunch of Weird Al Yankovic. Everybody would sing it. Someone would Nirvana, and then another person would just sing the parody song back to them. It's take that. I don't know. Jeff, you were saying something.
I used to have the Weird Al Yankovic on my iPod.
All right.
I thought I'd be the man behind the music.
I can't believe it. I used to see the Weird Al videos on the Nintendo DS little videos of back in the day. I don't know.
And to think that you also played with Joe Hicks.
Yeah.
That was
insane,
crazy,
dude.
That's
So
really
you love Joe, eh?
Oh, we love Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Yeah,
And,
what a guy Joe was, man. He would hear every note. He'd be standing on the stage like this, like a tree in the wind. And if there was anything that wasn't perfect, he'd be like, "Oi, bomba clock." He was so sensitive. It was like a conductor, watching this wisp of a ghost in the wind. I remember one time at Reggae on the River, this huge festival in Garberville, California. There's 70,000 people there, and he didn't like something the drummer did, so he just shut him down. He just, and they get into this big fight on stage, and there's all these people out there, pretty much out of their minds, half naked, dancing on each other's shoulders. And we stop right in the middle of the song for Joe to give this drummer hell, and he just kind of looks back and comes back, playing just as big and sloppy as he wanted to, and the audience jaws just dropped. What is going on with that dude? Because Joe was so intense. He would, like I say, he would stop right in the middle of a song if something wasn't right, and then when it was right, just grin to ear to ear. It was such a great learning experience. He was so intensely into the music.
I was gonna say that's
and
really
such great music.
That sounds
intense.
As a musician, imagine playing behind him. Well, for you, did you feel that pressure?
We sure did. But you know what pressure does? You know what pressure does to you? It makes you stronger. And so we rose to that challenge, man. We were like, yeah, go ahead. Say something, Joe. Say something about this groove. Come on. We dare you. Then he'd just be laughing his head off. He was happy he had accomplished his goal. He brought us up to his level.
Guys, what would
that is so cool.
Make us better, Chris. You gotta make us better.
Wow, but he's for the Wailers. Joe Hicks. He was Joe Hicks, and so
yeah,
that's the level.
I do have a quick question for Stephen. And you guys hang around, but my one question is how would you What advice would you give to somebody who is not as strong as you in that way and saying like, yeah, whatever, like this is what I'm going to play and this is what I'm doing? Like for people who kind of back down from that feeling, if you had, I'm sure there are people that are watching this that are curious about that.
Well, yeah. See, that was a really unusual circumstance for me. Normally, we're all really humble people, and we hope that what we're doing is something people can enjoy. But this particular drummer, I think his name was Finger, he had a real charm to him because he wasn't the greatest groove master in the world. But when he'd go for something, you would know what he meant to play, okay? And so you'd fill it in your head. And it was better than if he had played it because he meant it so damn much, And he'd always be cursing himself. He'd be like, God. And he'd try so hard. And he had all these ideas that it was kind of like watching this guy battle his inner demons on the drums. And it was as musical as anything could possibly be. So in this particular drummer's case, when he was put on the spot in front of all those beautiful people, that was just his response, basically like saying, man, this is the best I can do. And now here you're trying to embarrass me in front of all these people. I'm going to do it. But we didn't get overly filled with hubris or pride with what we could do. It was just, we were as happy as any musician is when it's super grooving. And if you can tell me how to make it better, feel free, Yeah. So normally when somebody comes at you, on stage or something, I would never be defiant. I would just try and learn from whatever it was they were saying, But with Joe, it was different with Joe. It was different. He was just so far beyond us all, Such an incredible musician and singer and composer. It was like having a Zen master or something who whacks you with a stick.
Right. Sure.
I love it. Chris, I'm going to let you guys go in 1 second and bring back Nick, but do you want to say anything before you go real quick?
I mean, honestly, it's an honor to be on this show with you, Steven. It's great meeting you. Honestly, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your time. It's really humble.
Yeah, really cool.
Well, thank you so much, guys. That really makes me feel good. It's an honor to meet you, too.
I'm crying.
Thanks for listening all these years and enjoying it and, making it flow. Because it sure has been a gas playing for all the people like you who dig it, I mean, just out of this world. That's one thing about playing in Weird Al's band is that the flood of joy that's coming on stage during the show is like a tidal wave, and you just have to hang on and surf it because everybody is so happy and they've all got on their Buddha faces, and just to see that energy coming from so many people night after night, it's really the politics of ecstasy, just being able to deal with it. And so what could be better?
It's awesome. It's awesome. Well, Chris, we're going to see you in a few minutes. We'll see you back in a little bit for a final performance, but thanks so much for coming on. We'll talk to you soon. Steven, I got to say, how amazing is it? Your whole career, you still have young guys saying your songs influenced me and were really important to my life. I think that's such a cool thing. I wish I could have a fraction of that. In the comments, your insights are awesome. Just such a fascinating life story. Truly, truly amazing. I know Nick has another question, and then after that, I want to hear about the new song, and then we're going to put it on and premiere it right now. I'm so excited. But okay, Nick, what do you think, buddy?
I'm excited too. I'm so excited.
So you've gone all over the world, and you've done so many different things, but what was it like being part of The Simpsons and having the band featured on not only one of their episodes, but one that actually won an Emmy?
I didn't know that.
Yes, there is.
I didn't know the Emmy.
Stephen J. Yes, there is.
Oh my God, it's so cool.
It's just mind-boggling. I'm still speechless. I remember my kids were in elementary school when that first episode came out, and my wife Barbara was teaching art, and I had a studio where I'd work every night till dawn. I was scoring a bunch of PBS shows and working for 4 editors at a time, so I'd be up till dawn every morning, but it was my responsibility to pick up Miles, or to take Miles and Ian to preschool, okay? And so I'd show up there in this neighborhood where all the the moms who were all nicely dressed and freshly showered, walking their kids to school. And I'd come in, half bedraggled from having been up all night meeting my scoring deadlines and drop them off just looking like something the dog dragged in, always pretty embarrassed about that. I didn't fit the typical image of a good parent, although I think I was. But I remember that one morning when after that episode, and suddenly all the kids were like, "Your dad went to Springfield." And Miles and Ian were just blown away. They were like, yeah, doesn't your dad go to Springfield? And I thought, what is happening here? This is just... Anyway, thanks to Matt Groening for doing that. That was so sweet of him to include us. And I remember he drew me with my Warwick. I was playing thumb basses back then, and they drew the Warwick perfectly. So the people at Warwick loved it. Because it wasn't just a cartoon bass. It was unmistakably that bass. So they appreciated that, but that's still just, I still can't wrap my head around it,
That is so cool.
Yes, it is.
I've been so lucky. Oh, and I should mention that the people who got me started in music were my parents. My mom, dad, brother, and sister were all very musical. My mom was a singer and piano player. My dad loved Miles Davis, played banjo and harmonica, and my sister had a guitar that I picked up when I was a little kid and learned how to play bass. And I remember, if I could just tell you one more cool kind of thing, when I got in my first band, I was 14, and I was walking across a basketball court on my way home, and the kid said, "Hey, can you think of a name for our band?" And I said, "No, but can I be in it?" And he said, "Okay, well, we need a bass player." So I said, "Great." So they had their first gig that weekend. I didn't have a bass, so I borrowed my sister's classical guitar, went to them to the youth center. Back then they had youth centers for every school that had dances every weekend, so bands had a place to play. It was just a wonderful culture. You'd even get your name on a little card that they distributed in homeroom every month, and it'd say which bands were playing at which youth centers. So it was a whole music culture. It was a great thing in Central Florida. But anyway, so I went to that first gig with my sister's classical guitar and just held it against my ear and played bass parts sitting on a stool while the band rocked out. And I was having a great time learning how to play bass. Nobody could hear me but me. I was in my own little world, just grooving, And I'd grown up, of course, listening to radio since I was a tiny kid and always grooving with the bass parts. We used to pick up skip waves from WAPE in Chicago down in Florida, so I'd hear all the latest R&B stuff. So I'd, anyway, so for a few weeks, I did gigs with the band, and there they are, all plugged in with their Silvertone guitars with the amp in the case, and I'm there holding the acoustic guitar against my thing, just playing away. And my dad finally took pity on me and bought me a Sears bass, and I was off and running.
The Sears bass. They used to sell everything at that store. I didn't know they had bass guitars too.
They did. We have a Sears. My husband Michael has a Sears guitar amp in our house with the ones with the light bulbs on the side.
Uh-huh.
I want to see it. Well, not now, but.
Well, that was the original Dan Electro. Those are all Dan Electro electronics and the Silvertone guitars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Lipstick pickups.
I had a guitar with lipstick pickups. I love them. And speaking of cool instruments, you were showing me a bunch of really cool instruments. Other than the bass, is there like a particular one that you just love the way it sounds or feels when you play it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, besides all of those on the wall.
All those beauties. All the records. Oh, my God. Let's be best friends.
This thing here is a real gem. It's a modified Moroccan Goumbri.
You broke up.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Yeah, let's see.
There we go.
Get back far enough so you can see it. Yeah, it's a modified African Goumbri. Basically, one of the earliest lutes. This one was from Senegal. And normally the strings are gut strings, and they tie them around the neck with little leather strips, and you wet the strips with your spit and slide them up and down to tune it. But I decided to turn one of them to an actual bass guitar, so I routed it out, put tuners on it and a nut, and made this
That's
super
so cool.
heavy duty bridge. And it plays just like a bass guitar. Of course, there's no frets and no fingerboard. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah.
It's pretty quiet when it's not plugged in, but I really love it.
Oh no, it's audible though, and that sounds awesome.
And also, the neat thing about instruments like this is that they are immoral. Or no, I'm sorry, they're moral. When Kurt Sachs, the old the guy who wrote The History of Musical Instruments, wrote his book way back when, he referred to chromatic instruments as, forgive me, but I think the word was immoral, because that instrument can play anything in any key. And he referred to instruments like this, which are pitched in one given key, as moral instruments, meaning they have a certain preference for what notes they play, and they can't play certain other notes. And a lot of these instruments that are made without a fingerboard, some of the notes work and some of them don't. So what you have is basically a biased instrument, and I guess that's why he called it moral. You know, I don't think that's really the correct conceptual space to put it in. But let's just say some instruments do a few things really well, and other instruments can do anything really well because they're chromatic and they're perfectly built. But the thing about an instrument like this is that it composes music, since it can only do certain things. So after you get to know it and you know where its sweet spots are, then it kind of speaks to you and actually writes melodies that just seem to flow out of it. I think of it as a composer when I pick it up. So that's pretty cool. And then one other thing real quick was...
That's beyond pretty cool. That surpasses the pretty cool definition.
What's that?
I said that surpasses the definition of pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I swear the thing speaks to me. A lot of these things do. But like, I'm really into 8-string bass. I used to play 8 strings. That was my main axe with my own band. And this is a typical 8-string here. Okay.
So cool.
My son.
I didn't know that existed until just now, by the way.
I've seen them before. They're amazing. I've seen 12-string.
Yeah.
Guitars, yes. Basses, no, I have
Bass.
never seen.
Bass. It's got 3 strings for the one.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, here's one of those.
My brain's going.
Yeah, here's a 12-string.
Oh my God.
2 high strings. Hey, there's a tune on my new album where, you know, normally the high strings are tuned to octaves of the low string, but on this one new tune, it's called Two Potato, I tune it to a little augmented chord. So every string, every group of 3 strings gives you an augmented chord, you know, with the tritone in the middle.
Cool.
And so every time you grab a note, you're getting a chord. And so in this song, Two Potato, it's polytonal. I really love it because it's in, you know, 2 keys at once, and it just really rocks out. I'll have to send you a copy of that when it comes out.
Please do. That is wild. That is
So that's a
awesome.
12-string. But what I did with one of them, my son Miles is really into the. Here I come. I'm back. My son Miles is really into the Lebanese bouzouki, which is a 6-stringed instrument, 3 pairs of strings. This is it, and he has dozens of these things. He plays them.
Is that what Miles plays?
Yeah. He plays this. Well, he plays dozens of instruments actually.
Yes.
Bowed, stringed, wind, bass. He's an incredible bass player. But anyway, this is a bouzouki from Lebanon. And
Is that similar to a mandolin?
Pardon? Well,
Is that
it's similar in that it has double strings, but the bouzouki has just 3 pairs, and often they'll be tuned in unison and octaves, and then there might just be a single string on one for a melody string. They string them different ways. But anyway, Miles was so into it, I took one of my 8 strings and sanded the neck down with a belt sander and turned it into an electric bouzouki with 6 strings. And this thing is like lightning to play. It's so much fun because you can see right here how thick the neck originally was back here in the body where I didn't sand it. And you can see how much I brought it down on each side to turn it into the ultimate pencil neck, you know. And it's tuned tonic 5th octave, just like a bouzouki. when you play it, it's like there's nothing in your neck hand because it's just so skinny. I mean, you can wrap your fingers all the way around it, and it's super fast, so it sounds great. Miles loves it, by the way. The only thing it doesn't have is quarter tones, which the bazooka is very, very important part of it is the quarter tones. So what Miles will do is take a paper clip and just scotch tape it between the frets, and that works. You know, it stays on there long enough to record a track or play a gig with quarter tones.
That's really cool.
And now you're talking to two bass players here. So we could go all night with this, and we would love to.
Yeah.
But I would like we want to hear your new awesome song.
All right.
Oh yeah. Of course, I feel bad we haven't gotten that yet. Definitely want to hear.
I'm not trying to cut you off, Stephen. After the song, we can talk about this all day. So you have Victor Wooten on vocals, Howard Levy on harmonica, and you on bass.
Yeah. Pardon?
As if I'm correct in that.
Yeah. Victor's singing lead, along with Hannah J., my son's Ian's wife. Her professional name is Hannah Mulholland. She was just moved back here from Nashville. She had a lot of great stuff going on out there. So she's singing, and Rod Castro, who you know from our first time.
Yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah, he's playing guitar on it. And Ian's playing drums, and I'm playing bass and keyboards. And originally I sang this thing with Hannah. And then I really fell in love with Victor's voice, I guess, when I heard that song, I Saw God.
I was going to say it had to be I Saw God.
Yeah, just his delivery and the tone of his voice. I thought, man, what if Victor was to sing this line? Because the first lyric is, I'm the one who looks like me. Mm-hmm. What I feel, I think I see. You're who reminds me of you. The things you say and what you do. And I thought, man, I bet Victor could really deliver that line. And so he, out of the graciousness of his soul, just did. And I just love the way it came out. But I have to emphasize that this is still a work in progress. It's not done. I mean, the song's pretty much there, but I'm still mixing it and tweaking it, and it's not mastered or anything. But I thought it might just be really cool, at least for me, to hear what you guys think of it. So the working title is Short Sleeves. I don't know if that's going to be the title or not. It doesn't have anything to do with the lyric, but there you go. A work in progress, what I've been up to.
That is so cool. I already got to hear it a little bit, but I'm really excited to hear it again. Let's get that on. Nick, you ready to go, buddy?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right.
I'm the one who looks like me. What I feel, I think I see. You're who reminds me of you. The things you say and what you do.
Like an actor in a play, where you mean what you say. Spirit moves where my soul's won't. Now you see, now you don't. Could be yes or maybe no. Take a guess or let it go. Not the first time or the last. A bouncing ball broke some glass.
right. That was Stephen J's newest track. I'm so excited. Wow, let's get it back on. Let me get everybody back on. I got to click all the buttons. All right, we got Nick. We got Steven in the house. All right.
Hey.
I got a couple of thoughts. And then, Nick, if you're cool, I'm going to let you jump in too.
Okay.
All right. Love the harmonica. Very, very nice. And of course, the bass playing was, through the roof there. And you said that was your son on guitar?
No, that's Rod Castro on guitar.
Oh, okay. But
my
your
son was playing drums.
Oh, okay. But he plays on another track, the other one, or?
Yeah. Ian plays on a lot of tracks. Yeah. And
all right. So. Yeah. So and then okay. So it was like the bass line was like almost like a slap bass almost.
Well, but it was all fingers, that one. It's kind of unusual for me because normally I'm always thumbs, And also, I don't usually write in major keys, so that was kind of unusual for me. That song actually just started off as a fun bass part, and then I liked it, and so I decided I need to put some lyrics and other parts on this. So it was kind of hard to figure out what kind of a melody would go with that part, but that's where it's at anyway.
The lyrics are very cool, and I like it, very creative, and I love the harmonies throughout it. And I would have loved to hear it with your voice as well. But of course, what an exciting cast of characters you got on there.
Yeah. Well, I sure was fortunate. Yeah, I couldn't believe how much Victor and Hannah and Rod added, and then Howard's harmonica. I mean, my gosh, people listen to that thing and say, is that a harmonica? It sounds like a saxophone or something. His phrasing is so instant. He's just glorious. I love it.
It's funny you say that because I thought that the whole time. I'm like, wait, is that a harmonica? Because like he just was flowing so nicely.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Howard Levy special.
Well, thanks so much for listening to it. Yeah. The rest of the album is quite an assortment of things. I'll get you copies when it comes out. I'm not sure when it's going to be done, but I'm working on it.
Please, that would be awesome.
Yeah, if there anything like this one, it had really nice grooves to it. I had mentioned in the comments, everything was just perfectly on point. Like everyone did the right amount in each part. They did the right amount in each part.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you for saying that. I was worried that since it started off as just a fun bass part, I was worried that in the end the bass part might have been a little bit too active for the rest of the song, But I'm glad it sits with you.
No, it was perfect.
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it fit in nicely and it kept the song going. The bass is one of those things a lot of times too, unless you're really listening to it or a musician, you feel it, but you don't notice it usually until like someone points it out to you. But we're all musicians, so of course right away we're feeling it and hearing it. But honestly, I thought it was great. I thought it carried it right to the end. And like Nick said, I want to hear the rest.
All right. Well, I'll get right back to work on it.
Now, I think is this like number 17 solo album for you or something? I saw you have quite a few.
Well, I guess if you count some of the weird ones, it might be up that high of a number. I've done a few off the wall projects, like I did one of just solo acoustic bass pieces, and there's another one of songs that I wrote when I was a little kid. I don't know if I call those my CDs, but I just decided to let the music be out there anyway. So yeah, it's getting up there. I guess
That's great though.
And you
I want to hear those.
Oh, okay, well, I just started a new site on Bandzoogle. You know about that?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Oh, anyway, it's a web hosting thing where you can put your stuff up. That one is not quite ready, but it's just it'll be coming about soon. I guess the address is stephenj@bandzoogle.com, and then my normal website, just stephenj.com. All the music's there for you to listen to and see what you think of.
Bandzoogle, I just wrote it down. Nick, we got to check that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're pretty easy to deal with. It's real easy to upload your own stuff, and then people can download it from there. And Bandzoogle doesn't take a cut, so it all goes directly to the artist. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like I got so much smarter through this conversation, to tell you the truth. And the idea you gave me to do the 2 different drum beats at 2 different tempos, that was mind blowing. And
that's incredible.
the only other guy I ever heard do anything close to that was one of the biggest legends ever, James Brown. So
Mhm.
you're in some good company there.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
But you seem like
I
you're
love James.
not as much trouble as he was. I don't know.
Well, you know, I couldn't imagine what it was like to be James Brown, man. Jeez, what a pioneer, you know. I mean, he broke all of us free, right? I mean, we didn't know that space was there until he showed it to us, or you know, that particular way of using that space, you know. Thank
he
goodness
was such a character. But so are you. And to be honest, he had a really cool story, but you might have a cooler story with all the different things you've got to do and be a part of, all the different artists and people you work with. Like I said, I wish I could just have a fraction of what you have. You are so cool. Look at those records behind you. I mean, just real quick, out of all those records on the wall, was there like a super one that you loved in particular, or a funny moment or something great from one of them?
Wow, let's see. Let me cast my memory back there. Golly, it was so much fun, all of it. Yeah, I sure do remember Slime Creatures from a Planet Near Mars. It was this super funked out thing. Like Al just told me to go for it, you know. So I'm just all over the place funking it out. I sure do remember that. That was I think it was called Slime Creatures from a Planet Somewhere Near Mars. And gosh, of the parodies, doing the Give It Away parody, you know, the Flintstones one. I mean, what fun! What a fun bass part that is, you know. Especially when you're wearing a loincloth and standing on a big stage and people are going nuts and you're just rocking out. Because a lot of what we do is like, I guess you might put it in the same conceptual space as channeling. You know, when we put on a costume that makes us look like a certain bass player, and then we play the same kind of bass and have the strap down low or whatever they did, and trying to get into their vibe, whether it's pogoing on the Nirvana thing or anything. Whenever we would play the Nirvana song, and I would say, just pogo the whole song, Steve. Just make a complete idiot of yourself. I would just do it, and I'd get into it. You know, I'd be like, yeah, I can understand totally why they did this. This is the best way to play this song. You know, plus it makes it a lot harder to play. That's nice. Because we do these.
Too far. Like that's impossible.
Well, what we do is I make two bass straps into one, so that the bass is literally resting on the top of my foot. The strap is so long, so if I just let go of it, I can't even reach it. You know, and then the song starts, and I just struggle through the whole song to try and reach my bass while I'm pogoing. You know, with my wig on and everything. You know, I'm missing most of the notes, but it sounds great. You know, because every once in a while I get one.
And the audience is having fun. That's all that matters.
Oh, yeah. And then at the end, I'd do that thing that Chris did in that one video. He threw his bass up and it landed on his head. And so I'd see how high I could get it every night. You know? The trick was it had to be a little lower than the cord was long, because I wasn't wireless back then. And if I threw it too high, it'd snap back on me, you know. But there's a saying in West Africa, a mother hen can step on her chicks without hurting them. And I think that same thing applies to throwing your instrument around. If it's your instrument, you're going to catch it, you know. And so I throw it way up there to be like up in the lighting, you know, and then I just wait for it to come down, and then as I catch it, I kind of make it look like it hit me in the head and then fall down. That was part of the shtick. But that's part of the whole Weird Al thing. Is kind of
I was going to just ask, theatrics are part of the Weird Al show.
Yeah.
Is that part of like the whole?
Definitely. Yeah. It's a big part of it. It's like you feel like you're in a musical play about music, you know, and there are all these little bits and things that you do that keep the audience going, you know, and it's just all about fun. So all kinds of crazy fun stuff like that. And with the costumes, man, you can really get into it. Like the whole
you guys wear
thing.
costumes?
Oh yeah, we do like a dozen costume changes a night. Al does even more.
For the songs.
So we'll come out
brilliant.
In the Devo suits for our Weird It's Stupid parody, and we'll come out looking like Rage Against the Machine for that thing, you know, which is super fun. And
that sounds like a blast.
Oh, yeah, it is. And like I said, people enjoy it so much. You get to witness a side of society that well, only musicians get to see, I guess, when you see that many happy people all at once.
Right. Sure.
And what's so exciting about that too is it's a bunch of different styles of music. So you're not just locked into one. I mean, you're going from Rage Against the Machine to the Chili Peppers to Michael Jackson. I mean, you're just like, that's awesome. And then, of course, you got all your own music, which we were like so lucky to hear. I can't believe we were so lucky. I don't know. I just feel so blessed. And honestly, you were telling me the story of Frank Zappa and Steve Vai, and I was just like, I love this guy. So you got a big fan over here, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I know you got
having me.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. Easily one of the top interviews we've ever had. So you blessed us, and we really appreciate it. Love to talk to you again one day. And everyone, go check out his music. And you mentioned a couple places where people should find you, but is there one other thing you want people to go check out?
Well, like I say, you can hear, I guess, that news site, StephenJ.bandzoogle.com. Might be nice if people check that out. There's some new stuff up there and videos and things. And my old site, which is still my site, StephenJ.com, has all my albums and everything. But you can actually preview them and listen to them on the Bandzoogle site. That I'm still working on it, so it's not complete, but that's where my new album is going to be kind of featured. And if I could just say one more thing, you asked me about a moment that stood out. That had to be playing. We were at the Apollo, and for our encore, we played "Close to You" by the Carpenters.
Nice.
Can you imagine that at the Apollo?
I was gonna say.
Two birds suddenly appear. It was surreal.
Just playing that venue alone was such an honor. I think about how many different artists. I mean, you've been walking next to the greats for so long. I mean, you are one of the greats, and I just got to get to know you better. Wow.
Well, thanks, Jimmy. I
Damn,
get to know you better too, and you too, Nick.
Really, you are a hero, and honestly, like I said, look how you're influencing people still to this day. So, Remy said I was going to love you, and she's never wrong. I've learned that, and you were great. So, honestly, I send you a friend request. Please accept me. You're the best. I hope you're doing well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jim.
Is that what you just said, James? Please accept me.
Listen, you know what? It's been a long day. I'm kidding.
You
all right?
know, I love you. You know I love you. I'm just messing with you.
Steven, it was a pleasure meeting you and getting to journey down the history of some of the amazing things you've done. I do want to thank you for the contributions you've done.
Well, thanks, Nick. And thanks for allowing me a chance to be with you here. This has been a real fun thing.
Thank you for doing this, Stephen. Honestly.
We're Stereo Joe, but we might be changing it to Stereo J. Who knows? Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on, and I hope we get to talk again one day. You're a legend and such a gentleman on top of it. So good luck with everything, and please keep us in the loop.
I will, definitely. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Remy. Thanks for inviting me. Great to see you, Nick. All right.
Thanks so much. Wow, what an awesome, awesome guy. Humble, yet so freaking smart, and has done things that I would just wish I could do one of those things. Wow. Awesome guy. Everyone go check him out. Nick, you put all the links up. I'm going to put it up again real quick. Please go follow him. He deserves it. What a good dude. All right, Nick, Remy, I'm letting you two go. Oh, shoot, I didn't even let you go so quick. But I love you. But listen, I got Chris Dela Cruz waiting in the wings with his band. They're going to play one song, and then we are going to end it. I just want to thank all of our guests tonight and all of our viewers. This was episode 73. We are chugging right along. Definitely one of the best episodes, if not the best. So we are forever thankful to all of you for tuning in. But all right, enough of my ugly face and voice. Let's get on Chris Dela Cruz.
Stereo Joe and viewers, thank you so much for having us and watching us. To my right again, this was Sawyer, Nick, and Jeff. We're going to be playing a song that we submitted for the Tiny Desk contest recently. It's called Song About Home. Coming from my new album that's releasing October 8th. Losing the language my parents spoke, I knew a little of it when I was young. I grew up on some block in Bayside, Queens. They grew up in Manila, Philippines. My Stitching Heart is my home. Only couple people skim since home. Calling me names, they don't know where I'm from. What can I say to them except that I want to love you the way you love me, and you feel nothing at all. If I were to disappear, I wouldn't choose any place but here. Messages vocal or silent, the mirror will whisper my differences. Rearranging my mind, I don't know where I'm from. Nothing to tell myself except that I want to love you the way you should love me, but you feel nothing at all. If I were to disappear, I wouldn't choose any place but here. Oh, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Oh, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Thank you.
Guys, I love you.
I
That was
love you
amazing.
too.
Guys, real quick, let everyone know where they could go and check you out and where to find you, and if you have any shows coming up or anything cool that you want people to get to.
For sure. Please follow me on Instagram, chris.dela.cruz, chris.dela.cruz. I'm sure you'll maybe drop the link, Nick. But also check out my YouTube, which is just Chris Dela Cruz. That's where we posted our NPR submission of this song. Tomorrow we're playing at Old Mill Pub in Scioto, PA. So 6:30, we'll be there hanging out. Come get some brews with us, chill. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Stereo Joe. It's been awesome.
Yo, honestly, my pleasure. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. You guys ask some awesome questions. So really, thank you so much for everything. And I'm glad we got to see you again. I always love seeing you. You're always a great guy. So, and the rest of you guys are awesome too. We all got to hang in person now that we finally can. Maybe jam, but definitely pound some brews together. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah, brews with the crew. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
I love it.
Nick,
Yo,
thank you.
guys, have a good night and be safe.
Peace.
Guys, wow, I'm freaking so lucky I get to host this show. I just want to say thank you to Nick and Remy. They are class acts. Couldn't do this show without them. So thank you so much to those guys. And thank you to everybody else again for tuning in. We'll be back taking next Monday off, but we're going to be back the following Monday. We'll see you then. Thanks so much and good night.